This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. A rash of job losses in the public sector in recent months, from the Department of Inland Revenue to the Gaming Board to the Bahamas Power and Light. Labor Minister Deon Folks is still optimistic, though, about the job sector moving ahead. And here's his reasoning.
But we're hopeful that this year, when the reports come out during the summer, that you will see an increase. Bahama has taken on some additional 2,000 persons based on what they've already done and the 1,000 that's coming on for Rosewood. Also, Grand Bahama is going to experience a drastic increase in employment as a result of what we're doing at our Makaya hotels and 2 other major projects in Grand Bahama. So we're optimistic that when the reports come out towards the end of the year, I think it will be around maybe October, November, that you will see a decrease in unemployment throughout the country.
And while the former administrations boasted decreasing the unemployment rate after hiring thousands, the minister reminded that these were contractual workers.
Like, for example, we have some of the 52-week persons who are employed in that program. The 52 weeks came to an end. So it was the terms of that contract. Now, we do not want to let anybody go because Bahamians are suffering. There is a lot of people are having problems paying their bills, and we want to keep people employed. But if you sign a contract for a specific term and the contract comes to an end, that is the end of the contract. Now, if we can afford to keep persons on, we will. But that is dependent on the health of the economy at that given time.
The Prime Minister is expected to speak more about plans to stimulate the economy in his national address next Monday. While the opposition chairman not having the finger pointing for the expected uptick in the unemployment rate, in fact, Senator Fred Mitchell says he's astounded the Deputy Prime Minister would intentionally claim increased joblessness just to say it was the PLP's fault.
They deliberately did it, knowing that the unemployment figures would rise, and now they're boasting about the fact that it was the PLP's fault and pinning it on something which they call bogus contracts. Absolutely false. And he ought to be ashamed of himself to say that a government deliberately increases unemployment. Outrageous.
Now, Mr. Mitchell went on to call the F&M hypocrites over Bahama as it used the mega resort as its main bone of contention in the run-up to the general election, only to tout its praises in recent months.
What is the most laughable thing about what he said this morning is they would not have any claim for jobs in the private sector had it not been for Bahama, which is a PLP project that they tried their best to scuttle. They tried their best to destroy it, to say it was fake, it was false, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, they're all standing up in front of the hotel cutting ribbons and claiming about employment in the private sector. So many deceits, so much fiction.
The opposition spokesman added that it's time for this administration to stop playing the blame game and actually start governing.
This is a government that on every occasion in the last 8 months, they spend their time going through the trash cans and in the files. I'm asking them to cut it out and to start governing. I mean, we are, for example, in the foreign ministry, the returning diplomats have had to get lawyers and will eventually go to court to get the monies which are owed to them. You know, it's a contract. You honor the contracts. You vilify people who were hired by the Progressive Liberal Party for legitimate reasons, doing a good job by your own reckoning. For example, the lady at the Bridge Authority, they put all of her business in the newspaper, exposed the private dealings of people, put their security at risk because they're trying to get at us.
PLP leader Philip Brave Davis recently characterized the Minnis administration as having failed to offer clear plans to tackle critical issues facing the country while continuing to terminate vulnerable public servants. A police-involved shooting ends with officers taking down 2 suspects, both in their mid-30s. Sharing the details with reporters on the scene was officer in charge of investigations, Assistant Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander.
Shortly after 2 p.m. this afternoon, acting on information, officers responded to this general area of Cowpen Road, where they saw a suspicious vehicle. 2 male occupants on seeing the police exit armed with handguns and engage the officers. Officers being in fear for their lives and persons in the general area returned fire.
Now, this ended with both men being fatally shot. The matter's now in the hands of the coroner.
I just want to ensure the members of the public that their police officers, their Royal Bahamas Police Force, is up and about in the communities just to ensure that they are safe. The Bahamian people and visitors alike are safe. We just want them to continue to pray for us, as you know that it's not an easy task. And as we leave home and leave our families, we don't know if we will return. So we just asking members of the public to continue to pray for their police officers and for guidance, that the good Lord will guide and protect us as we execute our duties on a daily basis.
2 illegal firearms were retrieved. The alleged owners behind more than $1 million worth of marijuana plants taken in. Intelligence-led officers made the discovery after one Monday afternoon in a field off Essie Boodle Highway in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. A count revealed more than 3,100 plants ranging between 3 inches and 4 feet tall. The plants have a street value of $1.5 million. 3 men were arrested as a result. Another group of Haitian migrants to be added to those waiting it out at the Jamaica Road Detention Center. This after the U.S. Coast Guard helicopter yesterday evening spotted a 40-foot sailing vessel approximately 8 nautical miles east of Wimsey's Long Island. The Defense Force, which knew of the incident a day before, was alerted. Further investigations led to the apprehension of some 70 undocumented Haitian migrants. This incident is certainly the first migrant apprehension for the year. Last year, the Defense Force apprehended, or at least assisted in apprehending, some 1,300 migrants. This number included 14 foreign nationals from 5 countries who were aboard a motor yacht off Fort Montague late last year. Now, the vessel was believed to have been involved in a migrant smuggling operation, a case that's still before the courts. Our final story is up next.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.